Hi, my name's Tony Giardini. I'm the president and CEO of Trilogy Metals. Trilogy is listed on the Toronto and New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol TMQ. And for more information on Trilogy, I encourage you to go to our website, trilogymetals.com. Today, what I'd like to do is talk to you about our high-grade mining portfolio in the state of Alaska, located in the Ambler mining district, which is in the northern part of the state. What you have in front of you is a photo of our camp at Bornite, which is one of two advanced targets that we have in the Ambler mining district. And I'll speak a little bit more about both Bornite and Arctic as we move forward. Before I do that, though, I want to draw your attention to the forward-looking statement that we have included in our presentation. And with that, let me get started. The interesting thing about the Ambler mining district is that it's a district that was discovered in the 1950s. So it's an area that's been known about for a long time. And what's really exciting about Ambler and the district as a whole is just the high-grade nature of the deposits that have been found to date, and the view that there are significant exploration upside in the district going forward. We already know that there's 8 billion pounds of copper there, 3 billion pounds of zinc, and over 1 million ounces of precious metals equivalent. And as I said earlier, we're talking about high-grade mineralization, and that's what makes it really exciting. And as we get into the presentation, you'll know and you'll see that we're talking about a unique mix of high-grade opportunities in a safe jurisdiction located in Alaska with significant partnerships. And I'm going to talk about 3 of those partnerships. Our joint venture partner, South32, NANA, which is a native corporation, which is also our partner in the district, and lastly, AIDEA, which is a state development agency that we'll be working with to advance construction of infrastructure to access the Ambler mining district. So let me tell you a little bit more about Arctic and Bornite. On Arctic, we've released a feasibility study in late August, which highlights the economic potential of Arctic as a deposit. And what that study indicated was at a discount rate of 8%, a $1.1 billion NPV, and an IRR of 27%. And as I said earlier, what's really exciting about Arctic as a project is that we're talking about 43 million tons of reserves plus resources on top of that grades approximately 5% copper equivalent. And that is very hard to come by. And when you see the details regarding the feasibility study, you'll understand why we're so excited about Arctic and moving the Arctic project forward. And Arctic isn't the only project that we have there. We also have Bornite, which, as I indicated, contains approximately 6 billion pounds of copper. And I'll speak a little bit more about Bornite as we go forward. In terms of share capitalization and just the state of the financial statements and balance sheet, Trilogy is in a great position. We're well capitalized. We have $12 million in cash at the Trilogy level. We don't have any debt. And at the JV level, and I'm going to speak to how this JV was formed, but at the JV level, there's a cumulative amount of cash of $145 million. So Trilogy's share of that cash, given that we have a 50% interest in the JV, is $72.5 million. So when you take the entire cash position of Trilogy and our share of a JV cash, you're talking about approximately $85 million of value in cash against a market cap of $280 million. So said another way, $195 million of that market cap relates to our interest in the Ambler mining district. And I'll explain to you why we think that valuation is significantly undervalues not just our share of Arctic, but the district as a whole. As I indicated before, we're listed both on Toronto and New York. Our major shareholders are noted on this slide. They hold approximately 65% of the stock, and we've been well supported in the past through the major shareholders. And the last time we did an equity financing was in early 2018. In terms of the partnerships that I want to discuss, as I mentioned, there's 3 significant partnerships. One is South32, and South32 is a large multinational located out of Australia. The second is with NANA, a native corporation. The third is with AIDEA, who would be responsible for infrastructure associated with accessing the Ambler mining district. Let's start with South 32. So earlier this year in January, South 32 exercised its option to form a JV with Trilogy. They did that by contributing $145 million into Ambler Metals. So what Ambler Metals now has is $145 million in cash and the total interest in the Ambler mining district. In addition to the $145 million that South 32 has already invested in the JV, they had previously invested $30 million in exploration, which Trilogy conducted over a 3-year time period. And they also own approximately 11% of Trilogy directly. So in total, South 32 has invested approximately $200+ million to earn their interest in the Ambler JV and to earn 11% interest in South 32. So we value our partnership with South 32, and we see that we have lots of opportunities to utilize their expertise to move the project forward. This slide indicates the area of interest that covers the Ambler mining district. It totals 172,000 hectares, or said another way, 1,700 square kilometers. We'll talk a little bit more about a number of the targets in this area, not just Arctic and bornite. But as I said earlier, this is an area that has received exploration attention over the years, dating back from the early 1950s. The second partnership I want to speak to is NANA. NANA is a native corporation located in the northern part of the state. They have a rich mining history, and this slide shows the Red Dog mine at the far left. And Red Dog is located on NANA lands. It's operated by Teck. It's the largest zinc mine in the world. And what we're doing is we're patterning ourselves on Red Dog in terms of how we're looking at our agreement with NANA. So for example, NANA has the ability to earn a net profit interest in Arctic of 15% if they choose to move in that direction, or they can take a direct interest in the asset by contributing their share of capital. That's similar to their arrangement when they entered into the Red Dog arrangement with Teck. In addition, we're looking at building a private industrial purpose road to access the Ambler mining district. And this is similar to the road that was built from Red Dog to the coast to allow for transportation of concentrate when Red Dog was constructed. So we're patterning ourselves very much on the relationship that NANA has with Red Dog and with Teck. And what's exciting is that NANA has a rich mining history, and they understand what it takes to see successful mines being developed. Our objective is to provide NANA shareholders with employment and procurement opportunities, and to provide a financial return to NANA once Arctic and bornite and other mines in the district are developed. Our third partnership is with AIDEA. And AIDEA is a state development infrastructure institution in Alaska. And this slide shows what we're talking about in terms of infrastructure that needs to be built to access the Ambler mining district. The missing link is a 211-mile road that connects the Ambler mining district to the Dalton Highway. And from there, ore or concentrate would be transported to Fairbanks, and a rail link already exists from Fairbanks to Anchorage, where a deep sea port is located. So essentially, the AIDEA, which is the road that we're talking about, the 211-mile road, is a missing link in terms of infrastructure. All of the other infrastructure already exists in the state to allow us to move forward with the development of the Ambler mining district. So where are we in the road development process? Well, we've been through a long road permitting process, and the last permit that we required, the record of decision, was received recently. So we're in the stages now where we're looking at detailed engineering financing, and construction for the road. And we expect that to take approximately 3 years plus or minus. And we see that initially what would be developed is a single lane all year industrial road with pullouts, which would eventually evolve into a 2-lane road that would provide year-round access to the Ambler mining district. The initial cost of the single-lane road is approximately $350 million. And the expectation is that the first project that we would foresee being developed, which is Arctic, would pay approximately $240 million in tolls over the 12-year mine life that's projected based on the initial feasibility study. We believe, however, that that mine life will likely be extended well beyond the initial 12-year projected mine life. The operational life of a road is approximately 50 years. So things have moved well with respect to the road. It's been a long process to get us to where we're at, and we're excited about the next steps in terms of looking at the detailed engineering, financing, and construction as we move forward. What this road does is it opens up access to this Ambler mining district. And this slide shows where the road is projected to go. And as you can see, it creates access to both Arctic and bornite and many of the other deposits within the district. And the expectation is that as other deposits are brought into production, that they will help fund the development of this road through tolls that will be paid over a reasonable time period. This slide just highlights the reserves at the Arctic project. You can see that just on a reserve basis, we're talking about 4.2% copper equivalent. But when you look at other resources and inferred resources within the district, we're actually looking at north of 5% copper. And what's really exciting about this is the fact that we've got not just one high-grade opportunity here at Arctic, but as we demonstrate with bornite and other targets within the district, there are many other opportunities which are of a similar high-grade nature as to what we have with Arctic. These are the inputs from the Arctic feasibility study that we released in August. This study supersedes a PFS that was released in 2018. I would highlight some key numbers here. On a byproduct basis, the copper cash costs are 32 cents. We're talking about an NPV of $1.1 billion at the base case numbers that are included in the study. We're talking about an IRR of roughly 27% with a payback of 2.6 years. If you look at current metal prices for copper and the other metals, we're actually looking at an NPV of about $1.4 billion with an IRR of north of 30%. In terms of the concentrates that are expected to be produced at Arctic, we're talking about 3 concentrates. What's interesting about the concentrates is that when we look at the precious metals concentrate, that constitutes about 13% of a percentage of revenue based on the base case numbers. If we look at it based on current price assumptions of current gold price and silver price assumptions, that percentage actually rises to about 20%. So why that's helpful is it gives us a number of opportunities to look at how we can use the precious metal component to finance the development of the infrastructure associated with Arctic moving forward. This slide just shows what the proposed Arctic mine looks like. And as you can see, the footprint is fairly small. We're talking about the open pit on the right with the tailings management facility on the left and the infrastructure in the valley. Where we're at with respect to the permitting process for the road is we're starting to move that forward now that Trilogy's completed a feasibility study. The Ambler Metals team will be taking that feasibility study and looking at optimization work associated with the project. And once they look at the optimization work, they'll look at commencing the permitting process in terms of moving the project forward to the next phase, which would be engineering and construction. When we look at the permitting, we are in a great position. We're not on any federal lands. We require primarily state and borough approvals that are listed on the slide. So we're in a very good position to advance the permitting of this project, and we don't foresee any challenges moving forward in terms of the state approvals that will require for moving forward on permitting the mine. In terms of district exploration, there's a number of targets that are available to us. We're obviously focused on the high-grade targets of Arctic, but there's a number of other targets that are adjacent to Arctic, which we ultimately foresee being processed through the Arctic processing facilities that we expect to build. Bornite is a standalone operation, and we've conducted significant exploration there, and we expect to get back to conducting more exploration at Bornite in the future, and we see the potential to develop Bornite in addition to Arctic, as well as looking at other exploration targets in the area. And why we're so excited about the Ambler mining district is because we compare it to other VMS type belts in the world, whether it's Flin Flon or Noranda. And these are belts that have operated for decades. So we see the same potential in the Ambler mining district. And as I said earlier, the district has been explored since the 50s. The key to unlocking the value in the district, though, is the development of a road. And with the final permit that we've received, we're now in a position to look at moving forward with the development of a road and ultimately unlocking the tremendous value that exists in the district. I mentioned exploration upside. There's lots of targets. I encourage you to go to our website where we've got more information in terms of district exploration potential and surveys that we've run and targets that we've identified and drill holes that have recently been drilled at Sunshine, which indicate high-grade opportunities in that district as well. So we are very excited about the district exploration upside. And I want to really stress that what we're talking about is a mining district. We're not talking about Arctic on a standalone basis. We're not talking about Bornite on a standalone basis. We're talking about the district as a whole. I encourage you to visit our website and come back and check in for updates on Trilogy. As I said earlier, our ticker symbol is TMQ. We're listed on the New York and Toronto Stock Exchange, and we're very excited about the next phase of development as we move forward with Arctic and Bornite and other opportunities within the Ambler Mining District. Look forward to catching up with you soon. Thank you.